Welcome back to another video. Thought I'd do another video just before I head to the gym. I haven't done a video for a little while, so apologies. And the reason why I haven't really been doing a video is just mainly because Bitcoin's in a range. So let's have a look at where we are in comparison to my last video, what's been happening, where's our support and resistance lines, and what I'm looking at. Let's look at some bits and bobs. So it's a bit off the cuff here on this script, but let me do my best. So the last video I did intend to do some daily videos based off of the hourly chart, but I didn't get the chance. But what I did do is I drew this grey line here, and I drew this grey or white line here, this one here that stretches all the way across. I did that because that's part of the monthly swings. So as you can see, let's remove my RSI at the bottom here, and let's get rid of my volume to make it easier to read. And based off of these swings here, okay, based off this swing here, and based off of this swing here, and that swing there, that's how I drew this white line all across. And you can see it is still somewhat being respected. I'm on Bitcoin here on the weekly chart, yeah? All right, let's zoom into the hourly chart because that's what I was looking at before. And this is where we are. We are ranging. So the last video I did was right about here. It was right on this breakdown of this trend line here, and I said it could be its first sort of signs of weakness. I wouldn't put in this trade, but it was there. Okay, that's what I was looking at because we broke down out of this white line. I drew this yellow line here, this horizontal line here, came up, came into the box again, got pushed, rejected. We still wasn't able to close, and we fell back in. I did say what you could do is put a stop loss up here if you was thinking of making that trade, but I wasn't. You would have been stopped out on this bar, but you can see we did eventually sort of head back down. If you was actually to look at the RSI, you would have seen bearish RSI divergence from here to here to here, nearly hit the top of this white monthly swing, and we fell back down, and we fell to the top of the 618 that I've got here, this yellow bar. Okay, so this whole area is somewhat being respected, and that's how it goes in trading sometimes. If you did put on that trade, you would have got stopped out, but that's how it goes sometimes. But if you did manage to put your stop up here, you could have caught it was a maximum of what, 4% on Bitcoin, and you know alts fall a lot harder, so it fell a bit harder than Bitcoin here. 10x leverage or whatever you wanted to do, that's 40%, probably 80% on certain other altcoins. But that's how it goes. This whole line is still being respected. You could see we even popped up here, fell back down, and it looks like Bitcoin is struggling here at the moment. You know, we're in a sideways market here. We've been going sideways, and I don't really like to trade these sideways markets. I think they're just designed to just chop everybody in and out, get you out of stops. Market makers make a lot of money on this, and I tend to stay out. I could trade the range, but I tend not to. I don't like range trading, so I stay out of it. Now, because we're in this sort of white box here, this sort of macro resistance area, I have been looking out for weakness. That was the whole idea of why I was looking at the hourly chart. I was looking for areas of resistance, and you know I don't really trade the hourly. I would trade the 4 hourly, and that's on my leverage account. Maybe I'll speak about that in a bit, like the difference of my trading strategies in my portfolio. I might do that in this video actually, because I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I never get around to doing it. But the idea is that we're hitting some major macro support resistance levels, and I want to look out for weakness. That's what I'm sort of looking for. Is there any weakness? So it has been chopping us around. So what I would do in this instance is grab my fib, I'd back out that fib, and from the high area to the low, okay, high to the low, where are we right now? Okay, cool. So we're hitting the 50%, this local 50% right here. 50% is the red line here. You can see Bitcoin's making another attempt at the 50%. What I'd be looking out for if I wanted to take a short would be, you could put a trade on here. As I mentioned in the previous video, I like to put lots in, so maybe 1 lot here, and then 2 or 3 lots at the 618, and then stop loss at the last swing, which is up here, okay? In the hope that we might push back down. So that's what I'm going to be looking out for today on the hourly chart. I'm not taking that trade, but let's see what it does. It's just to follow it off and just to just to see how it goes, really, because this is a good practice. That was the idea as well as part of the hourly trading series, was to just use some of the tools that I do have on an hourly chart and see how it measures out as a way to sort of make quicker content. So is Bitcoin doing some this time is different shit, like people keep saying? And in a way it is, but I want to throw some caution into that, some caution for myself. So here we are, Bitcoin Liquid Index chart, where I'm measuring the bull market from the green to the red here. And we're in January 2015, okay? What I've got here is the 50% level. That's the 50% level here, red. And then the golden ratio, measuring from the top, last bull market, to the bottom, okay? And that's where this line comes in. We didn't reach the 50% well into the market. We hit the 618, the golden ratio right here, got rejected, pushed out. So we didn't push out until well into the cycle, well into the cycle, much further than where we are right now. How far? Let's measure. Okay, from the bottom to the breakout, or the breakout of the 618, that took 707 days. Let's move on to the next bull market. So again, in the next bull market, in 2018, the 2018 bull market, which is green to red, 50% from the last high to the low, comes up here. You can see we hit the 618 real quick. We got rejected and we didn't break out until, when did we break out? We broke out well in about 686 days. So quite a long time. And then this purple line is the when we broke the all-time high. So it's a long time. It's been a long time. So let's forward to where we are right now. And the reason why people think what we're doing is different is simply because of time. Okay, we're broken out of the 618, 455 days. So not much time at all in comparison to everything else. So we've sort of broken out, and we still are holding on the weekly. We're still holding above this level. Okay, we're still holding above. We've broken out. We came up to the 50%, 618 rejection, and we're closing above it. Cool. So that is a bit of a difference. However, keep in mind that if we go to a monthly chart, if we were to go to a monthly, if we were to get rejected, we still have, how long do we have? We've got 7 days and 17 hours until the monthly chart closes. And this is just if. These are all theories. You have to have a thesis. If February was to, we still got 7 days. If February was to get rejected here and get pushed down below the 618 or the 65, this golden ratio, what people will say, you'll have a wick on this candle. This will be a major wick. And then the new candle will start. Okay, the new candle will start. And what people will say is, we actually did get rejected at the 618. All right, on the monthly chart, it will show it's been rejected. So whereas on the day, on the weekly and the daily, weekly's closing, and the daily it has closed, on the monthly, it will show that we got rejected. And then people will say, oh, this time wasn't actually any different. So it's just important to keep that in mind. But for the moment, I'm just going to be patient. That's why I'm being patient at the moment, because I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do. So previous videos always mentioned that time is more important than price. I will continue to sort of track this on a shorter time frame, 4-hourly time frame. You can see we're coming up against the 50% level. You place your bets. I don't trade this stuff. Perhaps if we were to come out of the 618, back test as support or back test it as resistance, maybe I'll have a look at it then. Or if we was to break out and then retest, maybe I'll have a look at it and decide whether I want to take a long or not. But me, I'm staying out of this mess. I don't like it. I stay out of it. But where are the points that we can expect resistance and support to come in? So as I said, short term, 51,829. That's the first sort of resistance level. We've got another resistance level at the top of this bar here, 53k. Maybe you might want to put a short here. Maybe ride it down to this low here at 50,500. But that's up to you. Let's go to the daily. What are we looking at here? Yeah, my daily, my 50%, my fib is at the same place around here, 46k. Actually, I don't know where my alert's gone on this. This might be the wrong chart. Let's throw an alert on that. Make sure that alerts me in case that happens. You don't know, because in the past, what has happened? Let's go to my weekly for a second. Let's have a look. So we had kind of had a pullback for about 60 odd days. Yeah, 63 days on that pullback. We had the previous pullback here, 63 days, 20 odd percent. And this one wasn't 63 days, but we did go down about 20 odd percent as well. Yeah, 22%. So 22%, these are 21%. So there we go. That one there, all 20 odd percents. All 20 odd percents. Even here, when we went sideways, how long were we going sideways in this sort of consolidation pattern here? I'm talking about from here to there. That's a sort of area there. How long was that? That was until the breakout, 63 days as well. So we kind of got this 63 days, 20% sort of thing going on. So perhaps from today, 63 days takes us to about, 63 days would take us to about 15th of April. And 20 odd percent would take us to, it would take us to the 50%. Imagine that. Confluence right there. So 42.5. Not saying it will happen, but it wouldn't be too surprising if that happened. So this 50% level down here, which is the major 50%, 42K, is definitely possible. Definitely possible. I don't know if it'll be a quick one or it'll be a slow one, but it's just something to keep an eye on. That's if you want that 50% discount, and you got to make that decision yourself, right? It's like holding out. You got to be patient. When I was buying Bitcoin down here, I had to be patient, right? When I was buying Bitcoin down here and down here and down here, that I had to be patient. That entire time is like a year and a half. It's like a year and a half. So I had to be patient. So you got to be patient up here as well. And it felt uncomfortable buying down here. I got to tell you, it felt uncomfortable buying all down here and being patient. And it was all negative. It was uncomfortable. But now up here, to buy Bitcoin at 50 odd K, it feels comfortable. It feels comfortable because everybody's sort of talking about it. It's bullish. And I kind of want to do stuff that is uncomfortable. Okay, I want to do uncomfortable stuff. And that's not buying Bitcoin up here. So I'm out of it. I'm out of it. All right, so quickly, let me briefly, before this video is getting a bit too long, but let me briefly talk about the way I sort of am structuring my portfolio, or have been structuring my portfolio for the bull run, really. I've got like three different portfolios, right? And here's the risk curve. Let's imagine here's the risk curve. It's more riskier as we go into this side, into this portfolio here. So in this portfolio, in the first portfolio I'll have is my holding portfolio. This is all my spot positions. Okay, still spot. This is where I'm intending on holding my crypto until the end of the cycle, or I'll start having a look for weakness at the end of the cycle, which will be next year, 2025. Okay, that's predominantly Bitcoin and ETH by far. It's predominantly Bitcoin and ETH. It's got one or two altcoins, a couple of altcoins, I should say, but that's predominantly Bitcoin and ETH, and I am not really selling that until the end. Cool. So you can decide if you want to follow this sort of trading style. You can decide what that ratio is, but the majority is Bitcoin and ETH, and a large portion of Bitcoin. Okay, my second portfolio is my trading portfolio. Okay, this is the stuff that I trade. I'm allowed to do what I want with this. I can trade back from Bitcoin to ETH to USDT, whatever I want to do, any type of altcoins, that's up to me. Now, this is predominantly still Bitcoin and ETH, but what I also like to do with this portfolio is I trade from cryptos to cryptos. Okay, so I'm allowed in this portfolio to trade my Bitcoin into ETH. Okay, and then I'm also allowed to trade my ETH, for example, into Solana. Okay, I'm allowed to do that. And then what I have is my leverage portfolio. Okay, this is my leverage portfolio, where I 10x and all of that sort of stuff, and I can buy whatever I want in here, whatever I want. Okay, and I like to, this portfolio is really good because it allows me to practice trading and allows me to get a handle on my feelings as well, the psychology of the market. Okay, if I go in on a long and I lose out, it tempers me quite a bit, or if I make a bit of money, it's good. I can do what I want with it. Whatever narrative sort of popping up in the news, I can go along with it. When my friends are speaking about stuff, I can sort of join in on the party as well. Okay, now I have more money in in this portfolio here. I have the majority of my money in this portfolio, and then less in this portfolio, and even less in this portfolio. But I can lever up. In this portfolio, I can lever up. In this portfolio, I can trade. And in this portfolio, I hold. Okay, so you can decide on what ratio that is. So I think that's a good way of structuring your portfolio. Interestingly, on the psychology level of things, though, it's interesting how my feelings towards all of these different portfolios has changed as the market has gone up. It's interesting because as the market sort of pushes up and everyone starts talking about crypto, I start to think about all of these other altcoins that I could jump in. I start thinking to myself, oh, maybe I could take out some of my Bitcoin here, my large portions of Bitcoin, and sell it and make more money. And it's interesting because I didn't think like that at the bottom of the market. When Bitcoin was 15K and I was buying, I didn't think about all of this. I held true to this. And I think I've got to just hold true to this throughout the whole market. You know, your emotions are kind of going like this on a chart. It really is going on like this. So you need to be careful. But I'm going to try my best to stick to this, because that was my plan when nobody was thinking that we would go higher. Not nobody, but, you know, I'm talking about, you know, retail. And we was going to go lower. We didn't. And now retail's up all here. Well, not all retail, but a large majority of retail is sort of here now speaking about it. Everybody's bullish. And, you know, it makes me want to change my plan. So, yeah, that's just a little thought process there. Long video at the moment, so I'm going to stop it right now. Maybe later on today I'll do an update on some of these coins, see where they're at and whatnot. Compare them to ETH, compare them to Bitcoin. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, all right. Have a good day. Let me hit the gym.